Hi folks, I just thought I'd come back briefly while I've got the speakers apart. And these speakers, oh, this one was made 25th of March 1975. I can't read what it says now. Something Cabinets Limited, Southend. But the interesting thing is that the speaker itself, both of them, these are to that Omex Music Centre, and look at this, they're actually Fane speakers. There we go, Fane. I remember and the cones are in good look okay as well. They're not rotted out or out, so you know. And I'll just check the value. I checked the value of the other one. I've just wired that. I've just got to put plugs on it. The plug on when I get them. Just check the value of this. These are actually 8-ohm speakers, and they actually read near enough dead on value. The other one did anyway. .7 ohms, nearly 8 ohms. How about that then? Almost exactly on value, just a little bit off, which is not bad for a set of speakers that are what were made in 1975. That's not bad going. I'm quite impressed by the speakers. It's just a shame that they didn't put the same sort of quality into the rest of the machine. I mean, it would have been okay, you know, if they'd put a better tape deck in there instead of what they did put in. You know, because the amplifier in that machine, like I said, it actually got 8 ohm stamps on it there. So they are actually, well, probably the reason why it went louder with my bench speakers, because they had only 4 ohms. So what I'm doing, I'm actually wiring these speakers up now and putting new cables on them, and you know, I mean it's a bit disappointing really, because I'm never going to get top dollar for this thing, and you know, I'm putting this work in, but you've got to do it. I mean, you've got to really. I mean, it's I don't know, it's by no means by no means a bad music centre. I mean, I have actually, believe it or not, come across worse. Like them little Sanyo briefcase things. I mean, they're terrible. You know, them mains and battery things that Sanyo that Sanyo produced. They were really horrible. Let's get the sucker. I may as well chat to you while I just fuck her up now. Let's just... Hang on. Clean the hole out. There we go. Yeah, I'm putting these in, and I'm putting them with the stripe to the positive, and then I'll remember that when I come to put the speaker plugs on, because I always put the stripe to positive, although in some cases I have seen it go to the negative, but I always put it to the positive, and I always have done. And you know, oh hang on, I've not put a knot in the wire. Yeah, let's just put a knot in the wire. So I want it soldered on there, allow for a bit of strain relief, put the knot there. spot on. Pull it tight. There we go. Now I'll tack this bit on to the end of the video, I think. See how I feel, but you know, let me zoom out. You can't see what I'm actually doing there, can you? Well, you can. Man, you don't need to see what I'm doing. Let's zoom out. Oops, wrong way. There we go. I mean, it's... when all said and done, that music centre is better than what I thought it was. I mean, the cassette on it's not that clever, but the radio and the record player, they're not bad. I mean, you know, if I was given one as a kid, I'd have been over the moon with it. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's managed to survive 40 odd, 75 to nearly 50 years, over 50 years. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm lousy at working these things out. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. This solder's nice. I got this roll off Jay ages ago. And it is really, really nice, good quality solder. It's really, really good. And there we go. I've put plenty of cable on these, so you know, there's probably more on them than what it would have come with. But the cabinets are not bad either. I mean, you know, look at that. That's a proper piece of wood. These battens in here are wood. I mean, the rest of it, admittedly, is chipboard, or as the Americans call it, particle board. But you know, when all said and done, you know, like I said earlier, I'm not going to make it out to be something it's never going to be, but it is what it is. I mean, and you know, it's certainly capable of, you know, I was talking to Jay the other night from Jay's Vintage Junk, and you know, we were discussing this, and I was saying that compared to Fidelity, you know, compared to Fidelity, Fidelity's audiophile grade, but I'm not so sure. I mean, the cassette deck on this is lousy, but there again, Fidelity cassette, the cassette decks that we used in Fidelity's were cheap Sanyo ones, or at least most of the ones I've come across were, and they were lousy. And this one's not that brilliant, but you know, the record player and the radio, what they should have done was left the cassette off and just made it as a record player and radio, and let you plug your own cassette deck in if they couldn't put a decent one in. But at the end of the day, you know, cassette. But there again, back in 1975, cassettes didn't sound that clever anyway, so the equipment didn't have to be that good to play them. Because from what I remember of cassettes in the 70s, they weren't that brilliant. I know someone's going to jump on me there and correct me and say, yeah, they were great, but they weren't. You know, I had some cassettes in the 70s. I got a tape recorder about 1978 or something, 77, 78, and you know, and I got some pre-recorded tapes, and I you know, I wasn't impressed at all with it, but you know, I mean, but at the end of the day, it was designed to do a job, and it can still do it today, so that's not too bad. And it's only had a couple of capacitors replaced and a couple of lamps, and it's still working, and a bit of a service. You know, it's had the deck serviced and stuff, and at the end of the day, it still works. And it's been safe from going into landfill, because if I don't sell it, I'll keep it and I'll do something with it. You know, but I'm hoping to find somebody for it. I mean, somebody somewhere wants an Omex music centre. You know, but The speakers need a polish up. It's all going to get a polish up before it goes up for sale. And probably the reason why it went so loud, like I say, and them little bench speakers, them little JVCs, they're only 4 ohm. But they're 4 ohm, but on the meter they read 6. So, you know, and these ones read 7.7, nearly 8 ohms, and they are 8 ohm speakers. So that's pretty good. And they're British made as well. These are not Chinese shit. These were made in Yorkshire. Yeah, Yorkshire, that's about 40 or 50 miles away from me or something daft. You know, up in Sheepshearer land. So there we go. I'm not going to plug them into the stereo yet. I'm going to wait till the plugs come because I've moved the stereo out of the way. And I'm not even going to splice the ends of the cables yet. I'll wait until the plugs come. I'll do that then. But that is 2 newly freshly wired speakers ready for the plugs to go on. And give them a bit of a polish up. The fronts on them don't look too bad. The fronts are actually the best point. I mean, that's the part you look at anyway. Well, that one's had a bit of a ding, but I mean, it's got some marks on the front, but I'll try and get them off if I can. But it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not too bad. I've seen worse. You know, but turn the soldering iron off. And that really is it now for the Omex, the Omex, sorry. The Omex MC006 Music Centre from 1975. And you can tell these are the speakers for that unit because they match, the wood's exactly the same colour on the sides. The speakers are made out of the same colour wood. So you can tell that they are actually for this unit. You know, but they're a nice pair of 8 ohm speakers. I mean, you know, there's nothing fancy in them, no tweeters in them or out like that. They're just a full range. They're just basically full range speakers. You know, out of comparison, let's undo that Binatone speaker that's down there, which is probably from around a similar time period. And let's see what we've got in that for a speaker. And see, I actually bet these speakers I've just wired up, I bet they're actually better than, I bet they're actually a better quality speaker than these, because these don't feel that nice. I mean, these don't really feel like they're made out of really top stuff, you know. They don't feel like, I mean, you've got a hardboard back on these, which resonates like fuck. Let's pull this one apart and let's have a look. This is a Binatone speaker from around the same time. I've got a feeling it is an oval speaker, but I bet it ain't a Fane. So we'll get our little, I mean, this probably turned into another part of the video, to be honest. I might just do this, call this the speaker comparison video. But we know that what do you call it? We know that them speakers for that Omex have got Fane speakers in it. So, and I had a pair of disco speakers made by Fane years ago when I first started DJing. The first pair of speakers I had were Fane, and they were brilliant. I used to run them on a Carlsborough valve amp. I wish I still had that. Valve head amp, a valve amp head. I wish I still had that. I sold that for 200 quid. I bought it for 200 quid with the speakers, but when I sold it I kept the speakers because they were nice. They were nice and portable, easy to carry about, but really good solid speakers. And I sold the amplifier. I wish I hadn't have done now, but I did. I sold it for 200 quid. So basically I got my speakers for nothing at the end of the day. But I wish I'd have kept the amp. And the person I bought it off, he asked me if I still had it years ago. A few years ago, yeah, when I was talking to him, he said, "Have you still got it?" I said, "No, Vic." I said, "I parted with it." He said, "You know something?" He said, "I wish you still had it." He said, "I wish I'd never sold it." So, you know, I said, "Yeah, I feel the same way, mate." Right, here we go. We've got like a vent hole at the bottom here, and look at that. That is definitely not a Fane speaker. Let's see what value it is. See what a value it is, but it's definitely not Fane. It's. I mean, the cones and everything are in good condition. Oh, hang on. That feels sticky. Is that damaged? That doesn't feel right. I'm going to pull that one out in a minute and have a look. That doesn't feel right, that. It feels like... That's got something sticky on it. Let's see what the value is. .2, 8 ohms. But I'm going to pull this one out of the case because I'm not happy with that sticky stuff that's on the inside. Let's pull it out and have a look. I mean, in all fairness, it's a decent size speaker, but it's not, you know. I'd rather have the Fane ones. I mean, if I end up keeping both music centres, it'll be the Fane ones I'll use because I bet they're a better speaker. Well, I know they are. These are cheap shit. These are unbranded. They haven't even got a brand on them. Just got a little number at the top there. That could be fucking anything. Mind you, there's something on the side as well, a little sticker, so that might identify them. So we'll see what the... Gently pull it. There we go. Now let's have a look. Right, well the cone isn't damaged, but I don't like that sticky stuff that's in there. I'm not a lover of that, but just have a feel under here. No, the cone isn't damaged, so we're okay there. The cone's okay. And it's not rubbing. No, we're okay. I thought the cone was damaged, it's not. Oh, so see what it says on that sticker? Oh, it fucking doesn't. It's whatever that was. It's not a sticker. It's oxidisation. But yeah, the paper on this feels a bit weak in places. But this is a cheap speaker. I mean, at least the other one's got Fane speakers with it. I mean, if I was going to keep both music centres, I'd have put these speakers in them boxes. Or basically I would have just, you know, I would have done something, but I might find some wadding or something to put in this. I've got some in the bedroom, speaker box wadding. I might put some wadding in it. That might help the resin. That might help calm the resonations down because they do resonate, these speakers. They're not the best. I mean, and we've discovered that they're not Fane either. They're some unknown brand. So there we go. You see, that's what you find when you open a speaker box. You find that the speakers are not all they seem to be. Right. put the back on it. I'm not going to undo the other one because these don't need rewiring, they're okay in that respect. But, let's get the screws back in. I was thinking about some wadding in them, I still might. Is there a beam at the top of there so that I could get an extra couple of screws into? No, there's not. If there was a beam at the top there, I'd put an extra couple of screws in them to help them out, but there isn't, so... I mean, they are what they are, I suppose. But at the end of the day, you know, they're what was supplied. So the factory decided they were adequate, so who am I to say otherwise? Well, actually, I do say otherwise. I think they're fucking not adequate. Definitely not, but they are what was supplied, and it's with these music centres, a lot of the times you don't get the speakers, so you know, it's nice to see. Nice to see the speakers. It would have been nice to see a better quality speaker in there rather than the cheap shit that Binatone used, but I don't know what the speakers are. There's no markings on them apart from a couple of letters, and or a couple of letters and numbers I think they were. But at the end of the day, you know, we know that the Omex one's got, at least it's got, you know, the fucking music centre might be a bit crappy, but the fucking, that's one screw lost, that's probably never going to be found. I will have to find it because this thing resonates like fuck, so needs all the help it can get. So I will find it. I'll go down on the floor in a minute and get that back. But I mean, there we go. Yeah, we'll go and find that other screw in a second. That one in. Ooh, that one nearly bounced out then. Get in. There we go. I thought the comb was damaged, but it's not. It's just some sticky stuff. I don't know what it is. But you know, these things have to be checked, and you know, when you're going to sell something, you have to make sure it's as right as you can possibly get it. Now, where's that fucking screw gone? And because it's a fucking dark screw, it landed on my floor. Shit, you can't see fuck all down here. Oops. Well, there's the, what do you call it, off the Omex, the microphone, the nut for one of the microphone sockets. I found that. Trouble is, I've got to take the fucking thing apart and put it on. So I might put new plugs on this as well, because these are aftermarket plugs, and I don't know whether plus is plus or whatever. I didn't look at it in the speaker. I don't like that. They're aftermarket then. I've got 10 coming anyway, so I'll put new plugs on that one as well. I've got a pack of 10 coming. Trying to just look, see if I can spot that fucking screw. It would be nice. I mean, I've got plenty of screws that look like that, so I can put one in, but it would be nice to sort of find it. Anyway, it doesn't look like I'm fucking going to. I mean, oh, hang on. Yep, found it. That's a fucking rare occurrence for me to find a fucking screw on this floor, and it is the right one. Oh, good job I didn't do that down there, innit? They've blown it away. I mean, they couldn't even get the fucking screw holes level. I mean, the screw holes are not even level in the wood. This one's higher than this one. There we go. Look at that. You could pull that through. Anyway, that's two speakers checked out. The ones for the Omex need a good polish. The ones for the Binatone need binning. So that's where we're up to. And thank you very much for watching, folks. And more to come later. Bye for now.